Eternals is the best example so far of the dangerous territory that Marvel has entered in the aftermath of the Infinity Saga. It shows not only that the writing team may be running out of ideas with a reasonable amount of mainstream appeal, but that Kevin Feige isn't the genius planner that he used to be. The issues that were apparent from the trailers of Eternals do indeed come to fruition upon watching the film. There's simply way too much going on. It's bizarre that Marvel decided to make The Falcon and the Winter Soldier into a 6-part streaming exclusive mini-series with such a paper-thin plot and widely popular characters, and chose to make Eternals, a story with hundreds of different brand new and obscure characters and factions, into an admittedly long but still underdeveloped cinematic release. If there was anything in Marvel's lineup that needed to be given a series, it was this. With that being said, you do get a reasonably good idea of who all of the Eternals are. You understand all their powers and some elements of each of their personalities. None of them are overwhelmingly interesting, to be quite honest, but some like Cersei, Icarus and Druig, played by Gemma Chan, Richard Madden and Barry Keoghan respectively, have their good moments. Kumail Nanjiani's Eternal, however, is completely pointless and adds nothing to the plot. He's simply there for comic relief, and it's a bit of a wonder why Nanjiani was required to do such extensive working out for this role. The film's antagonists, the Deviants, only really become interesting closer to the end of the film. From the beginning, they're more or less just generic creatures for the Eternals to fight, but as they're given more backstory, they're made more and more intriguing. Sadly though, without spoiling too much, other things start to happen in the plot that make them less pertinent. There's also an absolute ton of exposition Eternals takes you through. It can become overwhelming at points, even for a Marvel film. Again, if this had been a 6-episode series, then this would have felt natural. Instead, in this 150-minute film, the story feels like it's being thrown at you at a storming pace in order to fit everything in. Technically, the film is a bit questionable. The acting is actually, for the most part, pretty awful. Most of the Eternals give very wooden performances, with some of the earlier scenes between Richard Madden and Gemma Chan being the most excruciating to watch. Kit Harington has a very minor role in this, and in the few scenes he appears in, his voice is very over the top, and he has the same expression for the majority of the time he's in frame. The editing too felt very bad as well. There are a lot of points where characters are in completely different positions between cuts, and scenes often really don't flow well off of each other. Some scenes feel very sudden, and there's also a few that could probably have been cut altogether. The action is where the film brings back some of that Marvel quality. The fight sequences are often pretty exciting, and the most emotional scenes do hit within these moments of conflict. The same also goes for the majority of the visuals, which are stunning. Eternals is certainly one of the best looking Marvel films. There's a lot of good things to say about Eternals. There's really great ideas and character moments littered throughout the plot. There's a good orchestral score from the man who brought us Westworld and Game of Thrones' killer tunes, and it looks pretty great. Sadly though, the film is just badly edited, appallingly acted, and all round terribly paced. This film would have served much better as a Disney Plus miniseries, as I've said, but what we get is still a reasonably worthwhile addition to the MCU, and the future of these characters will be an interesting story to watch unfold. Though, let's not get into the confusing implications of the references to both Batman and Superman. Eternals gets a date score of 6. Happy dating, you loners.